Exposure Report Weekly.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Exposure Report Weekly. I'm here with Chia, and we are going to be discussing things that we have come across online through just conversations and whatnot that maybe a lot of people don't know about, but we're hoping to bring awareness to what other people are exposing. So I guess our first topic today is going to be regarding Britney Spears. At this point, I'm sure everyone knows that there's been a lot going on with Britney over the years. I mean, most people know that she was forced into a conservatorship. Her father was managing her, handling her affairs and whatnot, but it went deeper than that. So that's what we will be discussing today. And I guess I'll start off with the fact that I found this amazing thread on Twitter that discusses a lot of things, and it sheds light on a lot of things that people probably didn't know about. You can see
It's just loading now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see that now.
All right, so this is the thread, Kathy Fox blog, and she is actually, she's a survivor of satanic ritual abuse, MKULTRA Monarch mind control programming. She went through programming, I believe it's through Disneyland. And that's for another topic here, perhaps, but I mean, we can kind of get into that today, but Kathy Fox herself, we'll get into her story another time. But anyway, she does blogs on child abuse and Illuminati. She has amazing threads. One of the threads that I wanted to talk about was Britney. When I saw this thread, I definitely was like, wow, we should touch on this because I know there's a lot of knowledge now that she was definitely being controlled. She was in a conservatorship. I think it was about 13 years. Like her father, whether that be her real father or not, I mean, we'll get into this a bit later on, but her father was ruling over her, and she was breaking down. She was doing things that were erratic out in public, and people were just like, oh my God, you know, what's wrong with her? She's lost her mind. She's gone crazy, drugs, alcohol, or whatever. I believe that was her programming breaking down, her MKUltra programming. Anyone that wants to look into this can look at Kathy Fox blog, and she talks a lot about all of this. It's amazing stuff, but her mind was literally being controlled. So they were drugging her. She went through trauma based. So that would be the MKUltra. She went through trauma in order for them to split her personality. Now, I believe that Britney was born into this and that it was happening at a very young age, because there is a clip of her having an interview with Barbara Walters, and this was shortly after she broke up with Justin Timberlake, okay? And clearly on the video, she splits and she goes into a different personality. Now, I'm sure many people have seen this, and if you haven't, look it up. There's a point where Barbara brings up her breakup with Justin, and Britney literally splits into a different personality.
Wow.
And it's evident to everyone watching the video that she is no longer Britney. She's like, oh, and she starts saying really weird stuff, and then she starts crying and wants to end the video, wants to end the recording. She so yeah, in order for someone to have the multiples, okay, in order for your mind to break and split off and disassociate into different multiples, it has to be done, like the trauma has to be done before a certain age. And you and I were discussing this last time, that it's before,
Right.
it's definitely before the age of 3, but I would say
Right.
even sooner. So I believe that Britney was born into this, satanic ritual abuse, perhaps, or she was just literally by her parents sold off to Disney for the programming.
Right.
this is things we don't really know right now, but from the fact that she does have multiples, I'm led to believe that she could possibly be bloodline, and the trauma started at a very, very young age. And so the thing with MK Ultra programming and even monarchy is that by the time they are 30 or 35, more around 30, the programming starts to break down. The trauma-based programming starts to break down. And we've seen this in Mariah Carey. People were calling her crazy. She's gone crazy. You know, and then they go into rehab or whatnot where they are reprogrammed. So we see this in, who is the other, oh my gosh, Lauryn Hill, Whitney Houston, they were all said to be going crazy. Mariah Carey, what is that? The ginger, what is that girl's name?
Doesn't ring a bell.
He was hanging out with Paris Hilton, who is another one who is bloodline satanic ritual abuse done to her from a very young age, her and her sister. Anyway, there's some ginger who, she's an actress, and she's now living in Dubai as far as I know. And there's video of her, you know, all of a sudden speaking with a really strong accent, and everyone's like, where's that accent coming from, and all this. Like, I believe that she also is born into it and mind controlled, and more than likely has multiples. Anyway,
are you talking about Lindsay?
Yes, Lindsay Lohan. That's right.
Yeah.
And her father apparently was some drug addict or whatever. But anyway, so mainly everyone in Hollywood and the music industry and all this, the majority of them, that huge majority of them, I'd like to say all of them, are either born into it or sold into it or whatever, but they're all, you know, part of this system, this evil system, this Luciferian brotherhood.
Definitely the ones that have made it big, so to speak, you know, the names that are well known.
Bingo. Like, you are not going to be known, and you're not going to be it unless you are part of that.
Yeah.
So they like to make the illusion that these people rose to fame on their own, you know, they were driven. Like, there was even a show called Driven on what is that music video channel again? MTV.
MTV.
Anyway, it was called Driven, and it was showcasing all these, like, you know, these musicians, these singers, these whatever, that were so driven that they just became who they are. Like, no, it doesn't happen that way. They like to make you believe that it happens that way, that there's this, you know, the American dream, and
right, of course.
No, it's an illusion, and it's horrendous what these people actually go through. So Britney, she obviously, in my mind, and through things that even the media was showing about her, attempted to get out, probably many times. Okay.
Right.
And so they used just further and further trauma, right? So they would have, now whether or not they had her marry Federline, whether they set that up or not, whether they set him up to be as her backup dancer, they tend to do this and manipulate who they date and who they marry and whatnot for further programming. And as their handlers, they become their handlers. Okay, these people that the victims marry become their handlers. So we see Kevin Federline in the picture, and he was just a complete loser. Okay, everyone saw it from the beginning, but she didn't. And maybe she thought that was her ticket to freedom. So what happens when you go against this system? Now, whether they set that up or what, but they were definitely trying to, you know, ring her back in. And so she has the children. And almost immediately after, you know, she starts going crazy, right?
Yeah, right.
And so the kids are taken from her. She's set up multiple times, and I believe that was done through her mind control programming. I believe she was triggered. Now, whether she was triggered through a phone call or whether Kevin triggered her by saying certain words to her that would trigger her mind control programming to do certain things, because they have triggers, right? And as a warning to anyone watching this video, I mean, even the word trigger can be a trigger. So that's how horrible this whole thing is. There may be things that we're going to talk about on this video that will put anyone who is a victim or survivor of mind control in a situation you may not feel safe to be in. So just a forewarning, anyone listening to this, we will be talking about things that could very well trigger programming if you are programmed. So yeah, so they stole her kids, and this is a tactic that they use. This satanic cabal, they will use more and more trauma, not only to keep you programmed, but if you're going off, you know, the path that they want you on, they will use that as a way to get you back. So I mean, just there's so much to discuss. I want to stay on the topic of Britney. My mind's wanting to veer off.
Yeah, because
her associates and stuff, but we'll get to that another time.
Well, the other thing is that we have to discuss more of the programming in general. That'll be a whole other video, and maybe a video series.
And like I said, if people like, we're really just, this is just a tip of the iceberg, okay? But if people really want to get into it, I mean, we will be doing more videos on it, but go to Kathy Fox blog. Right now I'm on Twitter, you know, check out her threads. She's done amazing work. She herself, like I said, is a survivor. She knows what she's talking about, and she knows what she sees. So here we go. We've got, as unfortunately have many names, many others, Britney Jean Spears break into fame, quote unquote, came with Disney, notorious for child mind control programming, as well as pedophile Walt. So, you know, there's another blog that I read. I binge read it, and he's done videos too. And his name is J.R. Sweet, and his website is called MormonMonarch.com. Okay, MormonMonarch.com. I encourage everyone to check out his website. He's also a survivor, and he one of his handlers, which was his uncle, one of his uncles, was actually one of Britney's programmers. Okay, so he mentioned that that he was going to be doing some programming on Britney. He mentioned this to his nephew, and he mentioned that it was going to be of the sexual assault type of programming. So I mean, there's more that he mentioned about Britney and whatnot, but go to his website, MormonMonarch.com. Check out what he says, because he was also programmed at Disneyland. His grandfather knew Walt very well. So, and also helped build the whole Disneyland. So you need to check out his website, check out his videos also. He's done videos with Galactic Storyteller, and she is on Rumble, and she is on YouTube also. Anyway, so Kathy here, which is, her name is actually Kathy O'Brien, but Kathy Fox blog is her blog. Kathy is here mentioning that pedophile Walt. And so by the age 12, she was a musketeer. So now, like I said, her programming started way early. That was not her first rodeo. Okay. So it goes on here, and it's talking about the whole Mickey Mouse Club. Now here, this is where I was mentioning to you, she's telling about the different groups, the decades of musketeers here, and Britney was part of the 90s Mickey Mouse Club alongside Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Kerry Russell. So here's the photos of them. You can see the bottom right there. You've got Britney right beside Gosling. Christina up above. Yeah. So here we have Britney, born in 1981. Age 12 with Disney. she would have had CIA. So Disney worked with the CIA to do these mind control program. That's what it was under. It was under the CIA. And that's Disneyland itself was purchased through the CIA. Okay. It was always about mind control programming. That's what it was. Disneyland was a front. So the whole theme park was a front for a CIA mind control programming and tunnels system that is underneath Disneyland. So she put what Kathy here, she's asking a question. Was she put under that when she first auditioned for Disney aged 8, or is she bloodline when they are programmed from birth or before? Now she's asking the question, but to me, it seems quite obvious that she was definitely born into it. It was before the age of 8. She has multiples. And in order for that to happen, it would have to happen before the age of 3, most definitely, for her to split off into that. So to me, that has already been answered. But yeah, I'm just speaking on circumstantial evidence here. It's not actual evidence. And I don't know if anyone could actually get evidence on that. I don't know, maybe. But here we go. It's talking about how she was controlled, of course, at that age. I mean, what child isn't? Talking about the different people that are involved in her early years of singing. And then her big break. We all know about this, Baby One More Time. And how they marketed her as this wholesome virgin, right? Which she most definitely wasn't at that age. Sad to say, but she wasn't.
Right.
And unfortunately, she had been through sexual abuse by then. And it just keeps going about, her tracks and how she rose to fame. The virginal marketing seemed to clash with racy schoolgirl outfits with her albums coming up. And it just kept going. So now she's mentioning something interesting, which is the leopard print, beta kitten programming. Now, beta kitten programming means that they are being used as sex slaves. That's what they are. Now, quite a bit of them in the industry. I can think of a few. Can you? So anytime you see leopard print or any hint of cats, kittens, whatever. Now, that to my mind right now, when I think of cats and kittens and leopard print and stuff like this, I think of why is it that every time I go to speak their name, it's gone? Taylor Swift. Okay, Taylor Swift. I mean, there's a huge, she's always taking pictures with her cat, right? Her little cat and whatever. Okay, so moving on here. We've got some more aspects. She's showing an article from the Vigilant Citizen, and it's showing, I guess, different things in his article to do with mind control. So again, you guys can check out all of these. I'm not going to check out every single thing here because this thread itself goes into probably like 100 points here. Wow. So we've got Britney's first tattoos. Okay. Now, Monarch butterfly would be the Monarch programming, right? So that's this Kathy is saying that it looks like it's symbolizing the slave emerging from the elite's bloodline. Right. Sorry, she's saying that actually Vigilant Citizen is saying that, but if that's right, it indicates Britney's bloodline. So this is why this is kind of confirmation as to what I'm saying about the whole mind split. That she's probably more than likely bloodline and programmed from birth. So yeah, so that's one of her first tattoos, and then we've got another one, which is the fairy tattoo. Tinkerbell is another sign for programming. There's actually Tinkerbell programming. Now, a lot of this is all based upon Disneyland. So we've got Cinderella programming and different things. But this Tinkerbell programming, it's saying that they will never grow up or age, often carried out at Tinker Air Force Base. Now, it makes alters, right? So alternate personalities. Again, I mean, you can do trauma to someone older, and their mind, from what I've researched and read, is not going to split at that point. It would be when they're quite young. So I mean, again, that could be programming that's done quite young age. Not sure, but there you go. Or maybe if they're already mind is split, they're able to split into further personalities at that point. When they're older, I'm not sure, but I know that the initial mind split would have to occur at a certain age based on trauma. And anyways, so moving along here, we've got her here with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z himself is not only a mind slave, but he is a handler. Now, I don't know if he is Beyonce's handler or if it's the other way around, okay? But it could be that he is Beyonce's handler. I always thought that was a strange marriage. I think that she was programmed to marry him. I don't believe that was legit. I don't think that was something that happened naturally. She was definitely, they control who you're with. They control who you are allowed to be with. If they don't want you with someone, they'll either off that person or they will cause a breakup. You know, they'll do something.
Right.
So here we go. We'll look down to here. Everyone knows about this infamous Madonna kiss. Well, so Madonna, we already know. I mean, you can guess. She's part of the system. She was born into it. She was born into it. And she tried to escape multiple times based on Jessie Czebotar's testimony. They drug her back, like they dragged her back into it, drugged her up and reprogrammed her. She tried desperately to leave. She didn't want to be a part of it. So yeah, here we have
in Jessie's testimony, then she mentions Madonna, like she.
Oh yeah, she knew Madonna.
Oh, okay.
So Madonna was in the system, like the side of the system that she was in. So here we go. Moving along here, we've got more and more about Madonna. She was definitely trying to push Britney, definitely. Well, both of them. So yeah, they had her as a bit of a handler to keep them, you know, going the right way. I don't know what kind of handler, like I don't know if she was involved with any programming also or what, but Madonna is heavily programmed. She became part of, she got involved in Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, but it's part of the system, I should say. So this Luciferian system, right? There's different branches of it. One is Mormonism. Okay, so Mormons, Jesuits, so the Vatican. We've got Kabbalah. I believe the Islam Brotherhood what was the other aspect of it? I know I'm missing one, but anyway, if anyone knows, you can leave it in the comments, and you know we can discuss that at another time. But Madonna had become supposedly part of, you know, Kabbalah here, so she tried to get Britney into it. Britney was wearing a red thread around her wrist for a bit, and then you see it missing. So yeah, she was definitely trying to be dragged into that aspect. So 2006, Britney had 2 sons, divorced from Federline, and was hitting the town with Paris. And there's Paris and Lindsay. And again, I don't want to go off on a course here with her associates at the time, but these 2 ladies here are also part of the system. They have been traumatized. MKULTRA Mind Control and Monarch Programming. Now JR Suite. It's JR Suite, right? JR Suite. MormonMonarch.com. He mentions Paris and Nikki. So he talks a lot about them, actually. He was being set up to marry Miss Nikki. It didn't happen, but they were arranging that. And I believe it was Nikki's mom. Paris and Nikki's mom who wanted that because of something that occurred. And I encourage you guys to read all about it. MormonMonarch.com. Please check out his threads. Sorry, not threads, his articles. start at the beginning and don't stop. It's amazing information. So he brings up, in particular, I'll just kind of give you a little primer here. He does bring up a hunting game that Nikki and Paris were a part of, and he was there. So this is where the situation happens where he does a good deed that he shouldn't have done in the eyes of these hunters. But the mom, I guess, wanted to set him up because of that with Nikki. So go and check it out. So this crew here, they're allowed to hang out because they're all mind controlled, right? You're allowed to be friends. So what do we have here? The No Panties Club. Paris, yet another Illuminati monarch mind controlled slave. Yes. All right. This is a long thread. Everyone needs to go and check this out. Check out all of the links that I am not clicking on. That is up to you guys. I will let you do that. This is just giving you a taste here. So 2007 saw the death of a close aunt, drug rehab for a day. Next day, the shaving of her head in LA and a tattoo. So again, Kathy is mentioning what I mentioned. This may well have been her programming breaking down. Right. Now, the thing with this programming, what I've learned is they actually program you how to deprogram. Okay. They know now that people are deprogramming, that is breaking down. So now what they do is they put in deprogramming programming. Not only do they have suicide programming for when you start to deprogram, okay, but you also have situations where they will program different crazy type alters to come out first. So different personalities, like say maybe it's going to be a small child to make you look crazy. So that's the first personality that's going to rear its face. It's going to start, you're going to start acting like a child. The next one might be something else that has schizophrenia or something like that. So they'll program you in such a way that people are not going to listen. Their first thought is going to be like, you're crazy. You need to go to an institution. And I mean, more times than not, they will actually put you in an institution. You will be put in an asylum. You'll be put somewhere where they can keep you drugged and away from people so that you're not talking. They do this many times. They will make them into vegetables. So this is one of the first situations where people are like, oh my God, she's crazy. What's happening? Look at her. Oh my God, this is horrendous, right?
Well, of course, it's all perpetuated by mainstream media, which we know is owned.
Well, she could have very well been triggered to do this. Like this is insane. Like,
but they're going to spin it and make it, so much. Of course. Make sure that's the general population's view of her. Oh, look, she's crazy.
Yep. I mean, anything so that you are not believed, right? So what's interesting about this photo right now is that side has been like pulled down and folded over so that her tattoo is fully showing here.
Right.
So yeah, she's just going through the tattoos that she's gotten. So I don't know what what the Asian words mean, what any of that means. So this is the video. Maybe I'll click on this. I'm not sure how long it is, but let's click on this video. So this is what I was talking about. Sorry, did I say it was Diane Sawyer. Who did I say she was doing a video with earlier? I mentioned a different name, Barbara Walters, but it was Diane Sawyer. Okay. I get confused. Okay, here we go. Let's click on this and see where it takes us.
And it all happens as she's starring as a kind of villain in the tabloid accounts of supposed jealous arguments and then a horrible breakup with her self-proclaimed first love, Justin Timberlake.
You've had a rough year. You've had a year that would test a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Illness in the family. Mm-hmm. A breakup. This spasm of publicity about what happened from Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Britney. Yeah, it was a weird. Ew, I'm embarrassed. Can we stop?
The breakup with Justin. Did he sell her out on a music video?
Okay, so
Britney's side of the single.
Yeah,
That's the impression that you were.
That's exactly what I was talking about. So
yeah, you know, I've never seen
that,
but it's like nobody can deny that. That's unbelievably in your face right there.
Yeah,
that switch.
Mm-hmm. So moving along now, the 2006 saw the end of Britney studying Kabbalah. So this is when she would have stopped wearing that red thread around her wrist, which would symbolize, you know, a student of Kabbalah. Which again, like I said, is part of the Luciferian Brotherhood system, just like Mormonism, the Jesuits, Vatican Church, sorry, the Vatican. And again, I don't remember the others. Sorry, I'm having a mind blank. It's bad. It happens a lot. So 2008, Britney refused to relinquish sons to Federline. It was said she was on drugs. Next day, Federline given sole custody. Are you kidding me? And Britney was committed to psychiatric ward. Interesting. So the UCLA Medical Center. What about Medical Center here? She says it's well known for Project Monarch MKULTRA mind programming. So she's sent back for reprogramming. Kids are stolen from her. Okay, for more trauma programming right there. I mean, that's incredibly traumatizing for any mother. And you're giving them to Kevin? Are you kidding me? Kevin? Jeez. So yeah, here we have more symbolism. We've got, I mean, look, the hypnotic thing behind her.
Right.
And then just triangles. It could also symbolize mirrors. So, you know, the mirror room where in the theme parks.
Right.
These parks and these rides are all used for programming, right? So, oops, I just went a little bit too far. Let me go back. Nope, that's the one down. Okay. So here we have her, supposedly her father on the left there. I don't know. I mean, these people, they will take children either like at birth or whatever and like switch families. So I don't even know, is this her real father or not, or is it just her handler? So let's say that it is her father. That's him. That's the asshole right there. And this guy on the right, an attorney, Andrew Wallet, giving them complete control of her assets. This was in 2008. So yeah, 14 years later is when it was still being argued. And now I believe, obviously, it passed. She married that Sam Ashgari or whatever, another handler. They're divorced now. Interesting. So, I mean, obviously there was a lot to do with that marriage. I don't know the ins and outs, but creep.
Well, I have to say also, lately on TikTok, I've seen a couple videos pop up of Britney and her latest, stunts.
They're trying to make her look crazy, and this has been going on for years now. And that's another part.
They're doing it again. It's like it's nonstop, and now it's she's. Has she been abducted by aliens? Is it even Britney? And like just, a weird videos on TikTok about her lately. Yeah.
And I mean, her constant dancing around videos that are, again, making her look crazy. If that's even her, if that's even her, we don't know. Because again, a lot of celebs just disappear and you know that the celeb in their place is not them. Right. So what's going on with that celeb? Are they in hiding? Are they safe and in hiding? Okay. Have they faked their suicide? What really happened to Tupac? I believe there was a fake suicide. Now, why though? Who was behind it? Was he getting out of this satanic system and is he safe now, or was he offed? What really happened?
Right.
I believe that if he did fake his suicide to be safe, and he had like good people on his side that helped him, then he very well could still be alive. I don't believe that what we were told ever happened. I don't believe that he was shot and killed. I don't believe that happened. And I mean, they're not disclosing who supposedly killed him anyway. It's still a big, huge mystery, right?
Well, it's also, interesting on that note. There are a lot of actresses and singers and actors over the years that have just, been involved in mysterious car crashes and plane wrecks, and just it seems to be kind of the way they go almost,
And they call it like the 27 Club or something like this, because it happens around the age of 27. Have you heard about that?
I didn't hear about that. Wow.
Yeah. And I know, sorry, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I know that it's like being on call and it's like a leg. You're like, who's talking? I just want to say something quickly. I know that a lot of actors and actresses, so they have boyfriend or girlfriend. A lot of times their boyfriend or girlfriend will be killed as a ritual sacrifice. Now, for that actor or actress, it will be a sacrifice on their part. So they will be making a sacrifice, and that person will be killed. So I know that this happened with Keanu Reeves. There's talk about this happening with Keanu Reeves' girlfriend, that she was a ritual sacrifice. And this is apparently well known in that industry that happened, and that she was a sacrifice. Also, John Travolta's son, I believe, was murdered. Again, another ritual sacrifice. I mean, I could go down the list. Jim Carrey had a girlfriend that I believe was murdered. Could have been a sacrifice. Now, whether he was part of it or was against it, I don't know. But I believe that was a sacrifice. And it goes on and on and on. So not only do we have them, just dying in situations like Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And that in itself, we will have to talk about another time, but that was very suspicious. She, before she boarded the plane, the reason she left her recording early was because she got a call stating that her boyfriend at the time was in a car crash and in the hospital, and it never happened. So she quickly left her recording. So someone staged that. Someone did something. Now, again, did she actually die in a crash? I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see her body or anything like that. So I don't know what really happened to her, but that's the official story that we got, that she died in a crash. Okay. So that's what we're going on here, but she's gone.
So that's the name I just wrote down. What I was going to say to you was, I'm just kind of Googling. I was trying to think of Selena's name. I thought she was one that had died, but she was apparently shot.
The singer Selena?
Yeah.
Again, exactly. Yeah. I mean, what happened there? What really happened?
Yeah.
What was it about? What's the actual story here? So, I mean, again, if you go back, more than definitely, she was another MKUltra mind control victim. I mean, this is global. This is not just USA. This is global. This is in Canada. This is everywhere, right? The Luciferian Brotherhood, everywhere. The system is everywhere. They have quadrants. I mean, in the US, they have the Eastern quadrant, the Western quadrant, and you've got, I mean, just it goes in quadrants, and you've got high priestesses that rule each quadrant. Now, let me throw out a big name. Beyonce. She was, and she still is, as far as I know, the grand high priestess of the Eastern quadrant of the US. Now, not only that, but she is now, there's talk, and Jessie Czebotar has alluded to this, that she was more than likely, upon Gloria Vanderbilt's death. So Beyonce took over Gloria Vanderbilt's position. Now, after that, she was probably given more jurisdiction. And so there are, again, another topic for another day, but there is an underworld. There are underground cities. There are military dumb bases, deep underground military bases. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
There's also water worlds, literal water worlds underground.
We'll have to touch on that more because I've not.
Yeah,
heard
we
that
will.
before.
This is kind of like an introduction of all the different things that we're going to be talking about. But so Beyonce, it's been said by Jessie, was more than likely given more jurisdiction, not just above ground, but below the water worlds, because of the fact that the water worlds are run by queens, kings and queens. And she is called Queen Beyonce, Queen B. And it's been some time that she's been named queen. And let me tell you this. Meghan Markle and Beyonce were the two high priestesses that were doing the witchy battle in order for that position, okay?
Oh, wow.
Beyonce won. And at the Lion King premiere, Beyonce was wearing gold, that shows that she was the victor. She won. She's got that position now. And Meghan Markle went up and, was like doing a greeting, whatever. I believe this was like the first time they were supposedly met. Okay. Even though they did a witchy battle together in order for that position, and Beyonce won. So this was supposedly their first meeting, and Harry's there, Meghan Markle, and she goes up to Beyonce and she calls her queen. She calls Beyonce queen. So she was showing her respect.
Right.
You know, that Beyonce is the queen and she won and whatnot. So there was more to that meeting than meets the eye to most people. So yeah, she definitely was given more jurisdiction. So she's queen of the water worlds, the Eastern Quadrant it would be. And she was the Grand High Priestess of the Eastern Quadrant of the USA. So
okay, so for viewers and people like me that are not really familiar with a lot of this, where do you find this information? Where do you get this information? Like, how can people further look into this to not just verify what you're saying, but to learn about it themselves?
Well, I mean, like I said, where I heard this and who was alluding to this and giving this information was Jessie Czebotar. She is a survivor. She was put in the system by her grandmother at the age of 4. She got out, I believe was she 10? Between 10 and 12, she got out. So, and she's the one that experienced things with Madonna, with Elon Musk, with the Rothschilds. So she talks about many, many things. She talks about the human hunt. She talks about everything almost that you can possibly know about. So Jessie, where I saw and heard her was on Aquarius Rising Africa. And I was binge watching all of her videos and interviews, and then their channel got, deplatformed. How convenient. Yeah. So they started a new one. So her videos are up there. So you can check Aquarius Rising Africa too on YouTube. I believe they're in other places too. Yeah, so she gives a wealth of information, incredible information. A lot of it is very triggering. So again, big warning to anyone who may be vulnerable. They may know that they have programming or whatnot, or everyone needs to beware, because you're going to be, you will be traumatized by some of the things that you're going to hear. So, so Jessie is a big one. I mentioned Kathy O'Brien, Kathy Fox blog. Check that out. Also Fiona Barnett. Fiona Barnett, she wrote a book, Eyes Wide Open. Amazing. Now she's from Australia. You can download her book for free. She has made it free. Go and do that. You can just type it into Google and it will take you to where you can download that. And MormonMonarch.com. Please check out that website. And Galactic Storyteller. She is amazing also on YouTube. Galactic Storyteller. She's also on Rumble under Eden Rocks, EDENROCKS. I believe it's all one word.
And we can drop these links in the
definitely put them in the description below. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this was just a primer. This is just some things that we will branch off into on our coming up videos. But I mean, I wanted to touch on Britney, and again, tip of the iceberg there. Everyone else is going to have to do, you know, your own researching and checking all of this out. But this is a beginning. This is somewhere to begin. Check out on Twitter the threads by Kathy Fox blog. Please, she's done so much hard work, and all you have to do is sit back and take a look. You really, you know, it's all done for you. She puts all the links there, all the videos. You just sit there, click, and learn. Yeah, I guess for our upcoming video, we're just gonna have to. I mean, there's just so much to cover. We're just gonna have to pick, you know, another aspect, and perhaps we'll go into the Paris Hilton. We'll go more into the Mormon Monarch website and whatnot. Or I mean, you are about to start reading something very interesting too, the Book of Enoch. So I mean, even that may be our next video. We'll have to decide. And anyone watching this, if you know of something that you want us to discuss and have any information on, please leave a comment. We definitely will check out the comment, or you can email us directly at exposurereportweekly@gmail.com, and that is spelled with an X. You can reach out to us and with your comments, and we'll check that out. We may not respond to everyone, but you know, we'll be reading everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything you wanted to say in closing here?
No, but did you cover everything you wanted to in regards to Britney right now, or
for now? I think we're definitely going to have to do a part 2, a Britney part 2. Because
there's a lot to say. I feel like there's a lot to say about her. There's just so much out there.
There is, and I feel like she deserves all the attention she's getting, but she deserves to have people know what's truly going on. You know, that it's not that she's just needing out of a conservatorship. There's so much deeper. It's so much deeper.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like some people are awake to that now, kind of aware that there's more going on.
But they don't know where to start. Where do I?
It's just the tip of it. Exactly. Yeah. Like, you know, I've seen things in passing, and I'm just kind of like, you don't know what to believe, or you really have to look into it further.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we can do that in our next video, and we encourage everyone to, again, check out the links on the thread that we showed you on the websites, and we will see you next time. So thank you for joining us for our first recording. We appreciate your views. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.
Right. Bye.
Exposure Report Weekly.